Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we continue the journey of Ly Tu Huyen, a couple who have been building their life together with love and hope. But what happens when the past refuses to let go? What happens when someone from yesterday appears, threatening the peace they've worked so hard to create? In the quiet mountains of Vietnam, Ly and Huyen face a new challenge. One that tests not just their relationship, but their strength and faith in each other. Will they stand firm against the storm, or will old wounds tear them apart? Stay with us to witness how love proves its power when everything seems uncertain. The morning mist still clung to the mountain peaks as Ly walked through his field, checking the crops he had planted with his own hands. Each plant represented hope, each row a promise of a better future for Huyen and little Maya. The sun was beginning to warm the earth, and Ly felt grateful for another day of honest work. He had learned long ago that hard work and patience were the foundation of a good life. After everything he had been through, after the pain of being abandoned, he had finally found peace in this simple routine. His hands moved expertly through the soil, pulling weeds and adjusting the irrigation. This land was more than just property to him. It was the foundation of the new life he was building with Huyen. But peace, as Ly would soon learn, is sometimes fragile. As he stood up to wipe the sweat from his brow, a familiar figure appeared on the path leading to his field. His heart sank. It was Thuy, his ex-wife, the woman who had left him years ago because she found him too poor, too simple for her dreams of wealth and luxury. She walked with purpose, her expensive clothes and jewelry gleaming in the morning light, a stark contrast to the humble surroundings. Ly felt his chest tighten. The divorce had been finalized by the court months ago. Everything was settled. What could she possibly want now? Thuy approached with a cold smile, her eyes calculating. "Ly," she said, her voice sharp and impatient. "We need to talk about the land." Ly remained calm, though his heart was racing. "The court has already made its decision, Thuy. Everything is divided according to the law. There's nothing more to discuss." But Thuy shook her head, her expression hardening. "I want you to sell the land now, immediately. And I want a larger share of the money. You know I deserve it." Ly couldn't believe what he was hearing. The audacity of her demands took his breath away. This was the same woman who had abandoned him without a second thought, who had run off with a wealthier man, leaving him heartbroken and alone. "The court decided fairly," Ly said firmly, keeping his voice steady. "I worked this land. I built everything here with my own hands. You left years ago, Thuy. You made your choice." Thuy's eyes flashed with anger. "You think you can just move on, build a new life with that woman and her child? I have rights, Ly. Legal rights. And I will make sure I get what I deserve." Her words were like poison, meant to wound and intimidate. She spoke about Huyen with contempt, as if she had no right to happiness, as if loving Ly was somehow wrong. Ly felt anger rising in his chest, but he forced himself to remain calm. Losing his temper would only give Thuy more power. "You have what the court gave you," Ly said quietly but firmly. "Nothing more, nothing less. If you're unhappy with the decision, take it up with the court again. But don't come here and harass me. Don't threaten my family." Thuy laughed, a bitter sound that echoed across the field. "Your family? You mean that poor woman with her criminal husband in prison? You're raising another man's child, Ly. How pathetic." The words stung, but Ly stood his ground. "That's enough. Leave now, Thuy. You're not welcome here." For a moment, Thuy seemed ready to argue further, but then she turned on her heel. "This isn't over," she hissed. "I'll make sure you regret this." As she walked away, Ly felt the weight of her threats settling over him like a dark cloud. But Tewi wasn't finished. If she couldn't intimidate Day, she would try another approach, one she knew would be more effective. That afternoon, while Day was still working in the field, Tui made her way to the small house where Huyen lived with Maya. She had done her research, knew the times when Day would be away, when Huyen would be alone and vulnerable. Huyen was in the kitchen, preparing a simple meal for Maya, who was playing nearby with her worn toys. The little girl's laughter filled the small space with joy, a sound that always made Huyen smile despite their hardships. Life had been difficult for so long, but with Day's support, things were finally getting better. They had food on the table, a roof over their heads, and most importantly, they had hope. The knock on the door startled Huyen. She wasn't expecting anyone. When she opened it, her heart dropped. Standing there was a woman she had never met in person, but whom she knew all too well. Tui, Dee's ex-wife. The woman's presence was immediately intimidating. Her expensive clothes, her confident posture, the way her eyes looked Huyen up and down with barely concealed contempt. Everything about her screamed superiority. "You must be Huyen," Tui said, her voice dripping with false sweetness. "I think we need to have a little chat, woman to woman." Huyen's instinct was to close the door, but she knew that would only make things worse. Instead, she stepped aside, allowing Tui to enter, though every fiber of her being wanted to refuse. Tui walked into the modest home, her eyes scanning every corner with obvious judgment. Huyen could see the calculations happening behind those cold eyes, assessing, measuring, finding everything wanting. "So this is where Day spends his time now," Tui said, her tone making it clear she found the place beneath her standards. "Quite a step down from what we had together." Huyen remained silent, her hands clasped tightly together. She could feel Maya watching from the corner, sensing the tension in the air. "What do you want?" Huyen finally asked, her voice steady despite the fear churning in her stomach. Tui turned to face her directly, and her smile was like ice. "I want you to understand something," Tui began, walking closer to Huyen. "Day might think he can build a new life with you, but he's still tied to me. That land we own together, it's worth a lot of money, and I intend to get my full share, more than what that ridiculous court decided." Huyen felt her heart pounding. "The court made a legal decision. They told me everything was settled." Tui laughed, a harsh sound that made Huyen flinch. "Settled? Nothing is settled until I say it is. You see, I know how to make life very difficult for people who get in my way. I have connections, Huyen. I have resources. I can make problems for Day, for you, for that little girl over there." The mention of Maya made Huyen's blood run cold. "Leave my daughter out of this," she said, her voice finally showing emotion. "This is between you and Day. Maya has nothing to do with your disputes." Tui stepped even closer, her voice dropping to a whisper that was somehow more threatening than shouting. "Everything is connected, Huyen. You think you can just step into Day's life and everything will be perfect? You're a woman with a husband in prison, a woman who was thrown out by her own in-laws. You're damaged goods, Huyen. And yet you think you deserve a fresh start? With my ex-husband, using what should be my money?" Each word was carefully chosen to wound, to plant seeds of doubt and fear. Huyen felt tears threatening, but she refused to let them fall in front of this cruel woman. "Dee loves me," Huyen said quietly, though her voice shook slightly. "We're building something real together, something based on kindness and respect, things you clearly know nothing about." Tui's eyes flashed dangerously. "Love," she scoffed. "Love doesn't pay bills, Huyen. Love doesn't build houses or put food on the table. Money does, and I'm going to get mine, one way or another. If Day won't sell that land and give me what I deserve, I'll make both your lives miserable. I'll file new complaints, drag you both through endless legal battles. I have time and money, do you? Huyen felt the walls closing in. She thought about their modest savings, about how every dong they earned went toward basic necessities and Maya's needs. A prolonged legal battle would devastate them financially. Why are you doing this? Huyen asked, genuinely confused. You left Dae. You chose someone else. Why can't you just let him be happy? Thui's expression hardened into something ugly. Because he doesn't deserve happiness. Not after moving on so quickly. Not after replacing me with someone like you. I want him to suffer, to regret ever letting me go. The honesty was shocking in its cruelty. This wasn't about money at all. It was about revenge, about punishing Dae for daring to find happiness after she had destroyed his. You need to think carefully, Huyen. Thuy continued, her voice taking on a false reasonableness. Think about what's best for your daughter. Can you really provide for her if Dae is buried in legal troubles? If all his money goes to lawyers and court fees? Wouldn't it be easier if you just convinced him to settle with me? To give me what I want? Then we can all move on with our lives. Huyen felt sick. The manipulation was obvious, but that didn't make it any less effective. She did think about Maya constantly, worried about her daughter's future every single day. The thought of returning to the desperate poverty they had known before Dae came into their lives was terrifying. I need you to leave now, Huyen said, her voice barely above a whisper. Please, just go. Thuy smiled, sensing she had accomplished her goal. I'll go, but think about what I said. You have Dee's number. Tell him to call me when he's ready to be reasonable. Otherwise, I promise you, things will get much, much worse. As Thuy walked out the door, Huyen felt her legs give way. She sank into a chair, her whole body trembling. Maya ran to her, wrapping small arms around her mother's waist. Mama, who was that lady? Why did she make you sad? Huyen pulled her daughter close, fighting back tears. Nobody important, sweetheart. Just someone passing through. But Maya's innocent question cut deep. The neighbors had seen Thuy arrive, had witnessed the confrontation through thin walls and open windows. Huyen could already imagine the gossip that would spread through the small community. What would people think? Would they judge her for bringing trouble to Dee's life? Would they see her as a burden? A woman whose past kept dragging everyone down. The afternoon passed in a blur of anxiety. Huyen tried to focus on her daily tasks, but her mind kept returning to Thui's threats. The woman's words echoed in her head, poisoning every thought. What if she was right? What if Huyen's presence in Dee's life only brought him problems? What if loving her cost him everything he had worked for? When Dae finally returned home as the sun was setting, he immediately noticed something was wrong. Huyen was unusually quiet, her smile forced, her eyes sad. Maya was subdued too, picking at her dinner instead of chattering as she usually did. What happened? Dae asked gently, sitting down beside Huyen. Is everything all right? Huyen tried to smile, tried to say everything was fine, but she couldn't maintain the pretense. The tears she had been holding back all afternoon finally spilled over. She came here, Huyen whispered. Thuy came here today. Dae felt anger surge through him, hot and immediate. She came to our home? She spoke to you? Huyen nodded, unable to meet his eyes. She said terrible things, Dae. She threatened us. She said she would make our lives miserable if you don't give her more money from the land. Dae pulled Huyen into his arms, holding her tightly. He could feel her trembling, could sense the depth of her fear and worry. I'm so sorry, he murmured into her hair. I'm so sorry she did this to you. You should never have had to face her alone. Huyen's words came in a rush now. Everything Tui had said pouring out. The threats, the insults, the cruel implications about her past and Maya's future. Day listened, his jaw clenched, fury building with every sentence. How dare Tui come here? How dare she threaten the people he loved most? When Huyen finished, she looked up at him with frightened eyes. Day, what if she's right? What if she can really cause problems for us? What if Stop, Day said firmly but gently. Don't let her poison your thoughts, Huyen. That's exactly what she wants. He cupped her face in his hands, making sure she was looking directly at him. Listen to me carefully. The court has made its decision. The divorce is final, and the property division is settled by law. Tui has no legal grounds to demand anything more. She's trying to scare you, because she knows she has no real power. Huyen wanted to believe him, but doubt still clouded her eyes. But she said she has connections, that she could make trouble for us. Day nodded slowly. She might try, but she'll fail. Do you know why? Huyen shook her head. Because we have something she doesn't. We have truth and justice on our side. Day stood up and began pacing, his mind working through the situation. Tomorrow, I'll go to the local authorities. I'll report Tui's harassment and threats. We have witnesses. Our neighbors saw her come here, heard her raising her voice. This kind of intimidation is illegal. He turned back to Huyen, his expression determined. And we're not alone in this. Our neighbors support us. They know what kind of people we are. They've seen how we work hard, how we care for Maya, how we contribute to this community. If Tui tries to cause trouble, she'll find that this whole village stands with us, not with her. Huyen felt some of the fear beginning to ease. Day's confidence was contagious, his certainty a balm to her worried heart. The local government officials know me, Day continued. They know I'm honest, that I follow the law, that I'm a good citizen. They also know about Tui, about how she abandoned our marriage for money. If she tries to file false complaints or create problems, they won't just automatically believe her. They'll investigate, and they'll see the truth. He sat back down beside Huyen, taking her hands in his. I won't let her hurt you or Maya. I promise you that. Yes, she might try to cause trouble, but we'll face it together. And every time she fails, she'll realize that she has no power over our lives anymore. Huyen looked into Dee's eyes and saw the strength there, the unwavering determination to protect their family. I was so scared, she admitted. She made me feel like I was ruining your life, like I was bringing you nothing but problems. Day's expression softened. Huyen, you are the best thing that ever happened to me. Before you, I was just going through the motions, working and existing, but not really living. You and Maya gave me purpose, gave me a reason to build something beautiful. Tui represents my past, a past filled with disappointment and pain. You represent my future, a future filled with love and hope. He pulled her close again, and this time, Huyen felt herself truly relaxing in his embrace. We're stronger than she is, Day whispered. Our love is stronger than her bitterness. Our commitment to each other is stronger than her attempts to tear us apart. She's fighting a battle she's already lost. She just doesn't know it yet. Maya, who had been watching from across the room, suddenly ran over and threw her arms around both of them. I love you, Uncle Day, she said. And I love you, Mama. Don't be sad anymore. Day lifted the little girl onto his lap, including her in their embrace. I love you too, Maya. And I promise you, nothing and no one will ever break our family apart. As the three of them sat there, holding each other in the dimming light, Huyen felt her heart slowly filling with peace again. Thuy's words still stung, and the threats still worried her. But Dee's steadfast support made all the difference. She wasn't alone in this fight. She didn't have to face the storms by herself. Together they were strong enough to weather anything. Outside, the mountain evening was settling in, cool and quiet. Life in this remote village was simple, but it was real. The people here valued hard work, honesty, and community. They took care of their own. And Huyen was beginning to understand that she and Maya were truly part of this community now, protected not just by Dee's love, but by the collective strength of their neighbors and the local authorities who would stand up for what was right. Sometimes the past tries to reclaim what it has lost. But Dee and Huyen's story reminds us that true love cannot be destroyed by bitterness or greed. When two people stand together, supporting each other through storms and threats, they create something unbreakable. Thuy had left Dee years ago seeking wealth and status, but in doing so, she had given up something far more valuable. A man who knew how to love truly and deeply. Now that very man was building a beautiful life with Huyen, and all Thuy's money and connections couldn't change that fundamental truth. The legal system had spoken, the community had chosen its side, and most importantly, Dee and Huyen had chosen each other. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, hand in hand, heart to heart. Thank you for joining us on this part of Dee and Huyen's journey. Their story is a testament to the power of standing firm in the face of intimidation, of trusting in love, even when fear tries to take hold, and of believing that good people will ultimately prevail. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with others who might need encouragement, and subscribe to our channel to continue following Dee and Huyen's life together. We have more chapters ahead, more challenges to overcome, and more victories to celebrate. Your support means everything to this small family, trying to build their happiness in the mountains of Vietnam. Until next time, remember that true strength comes not from fighting alone, but from standing together with those who love you. See you in the next video.